Eternity Isle, a vast and captivating new land, ripe with opportunity, adventure, mystery, and best of all, countless new resources. Disney Dreamlight Valley's latest expansion has brought us captivating new flowers, brilliant new gemstones, tempting new fruits, otherworldly new crops, surprising new wildlife, and mysterious new treasures. With so many new resources to gather, constructing and managing an efficient storage room is now more important than ever. With that said, efficiency isn't everything. Many of these new resources are quite beautiful, so it's only fitting that our storage room carries a beauty worthy of its occupants. Hey there gamers, I'm probably Senpai, and today I'll be sharing an easy to follow, step-by-step guide showing you exactly how to recreate my Eternity Isle storage room. We'll accomplish this by providing a full list of the items you'll need and where to find them. I'll even include some substitute items for anything on the list that may be a bit rare or hard to come by. Of course, you're more than welcome to change anything about this build to make it your own. Since the Rift in Time expansion was released over a month ago, I've received loads of requests for an Eternity Isle storage room video, and I'm finally ready to share this exciting build. This particular build features various RGB color schemes, lush greenery, and an emphasis on the theme of time, as I felt it properly suited Eternity Isle and the expansion as a whole. Before we dive into this exciting build, I would like to mention that I'm a small full-time content creator, so pressing the like button on this video and subscribing to the channel can make a tremendous difference for me. If you would like to catch our Dreamlight Valley content live, consider joining our Twitch community, where we broadcast Disney Dreamlight Valley Monday through Friday. We also happen to have an amazing and active Discord server, where you can find and share dream snaps, list and collect Screwed Shop items, trade resources, or simply make friends and find valleys to visit. I'll be leaving the link to both our Twitch and our Discord server in the video description down below. And with that, let's get started. We'll start today's guide by providing two separate lists that you'll need in order to complete this build. The first list includes all necessary decor and furniture, while the second list includes all of the resources you'll need for the display tables. Not only will I be showing these lists on screen, but I will also include them in the video description for your convenience. Additionally, I'll be leaving a link to the Dreamlight Wiki website, which you can use to search for any piece of furniture and find out exactly how to obtain it. Now, let's dive into the first list. We'll start with the flooring, wallpaper, and door you'll need for this build. We'll be using the dark wooden herringbone floor, the black raised panel wallpaper, and the lion cub living door. For the primary storage and display, you're going to need 10 gamer desks and 20 iron or gold chests. Now, it's important for me to mention that these gamer desks are very rare. This item was only obtainable via Twitch drop. If you don't have this item, don't worry. You could simply substitute a black dining table instead. If you don't have the black dining table, you could always craft the wooden table or heavy wooden table. With all of that in mind, the gamer desk does work best with our RGB theme, and it pairs very well with the glimmer and our multicolored chests. As mentioned, you can use either gold or iron chests for this build. Personally, I used a combination of both, but I realized the Dreamlight cost associated with the gold chest is a bit high, and I didn't want this storage room to be too difficult for newer players to obtain. If you're planning on sticking with the RGB theme, I highly recommend crafting the colored chests. For my build, I have 4 red chests, 4 blue chests, 4 green chests, 4 yellow chests, and 4 white chests. Even if you're missing the RGB gamer desk, these multicolored chests can pair very well with the glimmer. For the remaining floor items, you will need 2 on-the-dot clocks, 2 Darkwood vintage chests, 2 Philodendron in a blue pot, and 1 carpet. The reason we'll be using 2 Darkwood vintage chests is because unfortunately, they do not center properly. Because of this, placing just 1 throws off the balance of the build, so we'll be placing 2. I also find it important to mention that the on-the-dot clock is also a rare item. This item was only obtainable through purchasing the Ultimate Edition during early access. If you don't have the on-the-dot clock, you can use 3 grandfather clocks as a substitute. In my opinion, this looks just as good and might even look a little bit better to some. And for the last items on our decor list, we'll cover what is on our wall and ceiling. Players will need 2 3-panel windows, 12 Corona clocks, 4 royal banners, 8 wall-mounted candelabras, 2 decorative shields, 2 wall-mounted Mickey Mouse clocks, 13 geared-up wall clocks, 2 vibrant wall planters, 2 floral wall sconces, and 10 tropical ceiling vines. Out of the listed wall decor, the rarest item is most likely the vibrant wall planter, as this item can only be obtained if you purchase the deluxe edition during early access. If you don't have the vibrant wall planter, don't worry. You can utilize almost any other wall planter in the game. This one just pairs nicely with the ceiling vines. It's also important for me to mention that the Corona clock is a premium shop item. With that said, I do believe the rest of these items can be obtained from Scrooge or through quests. Again, if you're missing any items on this list, just use the Dreamlight Valley wiki website, which we have listed down below in the video description. If you're missing a lot of items from Scrooge's shop, I'd recommend joining our Discord server and keeping a close eye on the Scrooge Finds channel. Now that we've covered all of the necessary decor, let's cover the list of our display resources. If you're planning on keeping the same RGB theme that we have here, you're going to need a total of 40 glimmer. You'll need 20 glimmer to line the back of the tables on the left side, and 20 glimmer to line the back of the tables on the right side. And this may sound like a lot of glimmer, but trust me, it does bring the entire build to life. Now for the rest of the resources. For the left half of the room, you're going to need 2 scorpions, 2 snails, 2 broccoli, 2 bamboo, 2 level 3 time cores, 2 deadly nightshade, 2 dream mangoes, 2 pineapples, 2 orange birds of paradise, and 2 white birds of paradise. For the right half of the room, you'll need 2 spinel, 2 blue zircon, 2 jade, 2 bumblestone, 2 evergem, 2 bronze ingots, 2 brass ingots, 1 skeleton fish, 2 glass, and 2 cinnamon. Unfortunately, tropical wood, amber, pearls, plastic, scales, oasis glass, and bones cannot be placed on tables at this time. Now, I don't believe this is intended, and I do think this will likely be patched or fixed at a later date. So for tropical wood and some of the other items we just mentioned, we will be using substitutes for their displays. I'll explain this further once we've set up our storage chests and display tables. Now that we've covered everything you're going to need, it's finally time to build our storage rooms. After applying your wallpaper, flooring, and door, you can start the building process by placing your 10 gamer desks or tables. Simply place 5 tables against the left wall and 5 tables against the right wall. Now you can begin lining both of those sets of tables with your 20 chests. If you're sticking with the RGB theme, I'd recommend placing red, then blue, then green, then yellow, then white, and then repeat this pattern. With your tables and chests in position, we're now ready to place the remaining floor items. Place your carpet against the center of the back wall, and place your 2 on-the-dot clocks beside one another, touching at the very center of the carpet. And now place your 2 Darkwood storage chests in front of each of the on-the-dot clocks. Again, the reason we are using 2 chests instead of 1 is simply for balance. And as we mentioned before, if you did not get the Ultimate Edition, you can use 3 grandfather clocks in place of the 2 on-the-dot clocks. All that's left now is to place a Philodendron on both the left and right-hand sides of the carpet. And just like that, all of our floor decor is placed and ready to go. Now it's time to tackle the walls. We'll start with the back wall. Start by placing the 2 3-panel windows directly beside one another at the center of the back wall. If done properly, you should have 2 spaces open on the left, 2 spaces open on the right, and 2 spaces above the windows. Now we'll place our 2 vibrant wall planters. One will be placed in the top left-hand corner of the wall, and one will be placed in the top right-hand corner of the wall. Directly below each wall planter, place the wall-mounted Mickey Mouse clock. The rest of the back wall decor will be placed between the two planters. Start by placing 2 geared up wall clocks, one next to each planter. Now set a floral wall sconce next to the 2 geared up wall clocks you just placed. Now place another 2 geared up wall clocks, followed by 2 decorative shields. And finally, if all of this was done properly, you should be able to fit one more geared up wall clock directly in the center of the wall. With the back wall complete, it's time to move on to the side walls. Since the left and right walls share identical decor, we'll just build out the wall on the left-hand side, and then you can repeat this process for the wall on the right-hand side. We'll start by placing 2 royal banners. One will go in the top left-hand corner, and one will go in the top right-hand corner. On the inner sides of the banners and at the base of the royal banners, place a corona clock by each. Now place a wall-mounted candelabra on the inside of each of the 2 corona clocks. Continue alternating corona clocks and candelabras until 2 of the corona clocks meet in the center of the wall. Now, directly above each wall-mounted candelabra, place 1 geared up wall clock, adding up to a total of 4. This will complete the left wall. Now repeat this process on the right wall, and then both side walls will be finished. With both side walls complete, we'll add our finishing touches with ceiling decor. This part is very simple, and we'll just be placing 5 tropical ceiling vines on both the right and left hand sides of the ceiling, directly against the walls we just finished. This final touch just helps to give the room an overgrown look, making it feel a bit more lost to time and in a way reclaimed by nature. Now for this build, I didn't bother doing anything with the front wall, and I might play around with it in the future, but I don't like anything obstructing my view when I first walk into the room, so I left it empty. If you'd like to change that, be my guest. Now that all of our decor and furniture is placed, it's finally time to set up our display tables. Begin by separating and dropping all 40 individual pieces of glimmer. Now you've probably noticed after dropping your glimmer that it's not all rotating with the same timing. So we're going to cover exactly how to get all of your glimmer to move in synchronized rotation. The trick here is to remain in furniture editing mode until you've relocated 20 glimmer to one of the 2 sides. Only exit the build mode once all 20 glimmer has been moved from the floor to the back of either the left or right side tables. Any glimmer that has changed to a new location while you were in furniture mode will have its rotation reset. Now, I should warn you, this can be an incredibly annoying process, thanks to the common bug where items moved to tables return to their original spot upon leaving the build menu. So, this can take multiple attempts if your game decides to get temperamental. Another important thing to note is that you may need to rotate some of the glimmer after it's been dropped. It's a bit hard to tell, but if the glimmer is not facing the same direction as its counterparts, it will never truly synchronize. If this process becomes too frustrating or doesn't work out for you, don't worry. I've noticed that over time, the glimmer rotation seems to reset on its own. Now, I'm not sure if this is a 24-hour thing or if it happens when you load from a cloud save. But if you're really struggling, I'd recommend placing the glimmer along the back of the tables and waiting 24 to 48 hours to see if it synchronizes. If all but a few pieces synchronize, then that means those few pieces need to be rotated, as they are likely facing the wrong direction. Simply rotate the pieces and then come back and revisit them later to see if they synchronize. Continue to repeat this process, and eventually, all of your glimmer should synchronize. Hopefully, you will not have to take these extra steps, and you'll simply be able to relocate the 20 glimmer from the floor to the back of the walls without your game giving you too much trouble. Now we can begin dropping and placing the various resources for the left-hand side. We'll place the resources in the following order: 2 scorpions, 2 snails, 2 broccoli, 2 bamboo, 2 level 3 time cores, 2 bottles of deadly nightshade, 2 dream mangoes, 2 pineapples, 2 white birds of paradise, and 2 orange birds of paradise. Now for the right-hand side, place your resources in the following order: 2 spinel, 2 blue zircon, 2 jade, 2 bumblestone, 2 evergem, 2 bronze ingots, 2 brass ingots, 1 skeleton fish, 2 glass, and 2 cinnamon. If you've managed to make it this far, congratulations! Your storage room is set up and ready to go. Now it's finally time to dive into the final portion of this video, where we'll explain what's stored in each chest. Starting with the left-hand side, the red chest, marked with scorpions, will hold all of the wildlife fished out of the desert sands, as well as all of the meats supplied by Gaston's stall. The blue chest, marked with snails, will hold all other aquatic life found on Eternity Isle. The green chest, marked with broccoli, will hold all crops that you can harvest from Eternity Isle seeds. The yellow chest, marked with bamboo, will hold all of the Eternity Isle ground forageables. The white chest, marked by the level 3 time cores, will hold ancient parts, time-bending cores, mechanical parts, and power cells. The second red chest, marked with deadly nightshade, will hold all other time-bending treasures. The second blue chest, marked with dream mangoes, will hold the forageable Eternity Isle fruits. The second green chest, marked by pineapples, will hold all of your Eternity Isle seeds. The reason this is marked with pineapples instead of a seed bag is because the seed bags are large and tend to throw off the balance of the room by blocking the glimmer. The second yellow chest, marked by 2 white birds of paradise, holds all of the flowers within Ancient's Landing. The final white chest on the left-hand side, marked by 2 orange birds of paradise, will hold the remaining flowers found on Eternity Isle. The reason I've decided to use birds of paradise for both of these chests is mainly for balance, as many of the other flowers I tried to display appeared quite large and obstructed the view of the glimmer. Now, let's move on to the right-hand side. The red chest, marked by spinel, is exclusively for spinel. The blue chest, marked by blue zircon, is exclusively for blue zircon. The green chest, marked by jade, holds both jade and alexandrite. Now, before we move on, you may be asking yourself, why didn't alexandrite get its own chest? Well, mostly for balance. I wanted half of the chest on the right side to hold precious minerals. If you'd like for your build to have an alexandrite chest, feel free to restructure this build. The yellow chest, marked with bumblestone, is exclusively for bumblestone. The white chest, marked by Evergem, is exclusively for Evergems. The second red chest, marked by bronze, holds bronze, copper, and tin. The second blue chest, marked by brass, holds brass, zinc, and quartz. The second green chest, marked by 1 skeleton fish, holds all of the resources we can fish up on Eternity Isle. This includes plastic, scales, and bones, with bones being the only one of the 3 that can also be collected by digging. The reason we're using the skeleton fish here is because none of these items can be placed on tables, so we use the skeleton fish to symbolize bones. The second yellow chest, marked by glass, contains all Eternity Isle resources that are primarily obtained via digging. This includes amber, oasis glass, and pearls. Again, none of these items can be placed on tables, so we use glass to represent oasis glass for now. And finally, our last white chest, marked with cinnamon, contains all of our tropical wood. As with the previous 2 chests, tropical wood cannot be placed on tables, and since it typically spawns alongside of cinnamon, it's a good choice for the label. Now that you know what's stored in each of these chests, you have the knowledge to create a perfect replica of this storage room. With that said, please feel free to adjust this build to suit your playstyle. Keep in mind, this video mostly serves as a blueprint that you can make your own changes and adjustments to. This setup works best for me and my playstyle, but you're under no obligation to follow these exact outlines. Now, if you do want to use my exact build, please be my guest. As long as you enjoyed today's video and got something of value out of it, that's good enough for me. And if you did find value in today's video, please do me a very big favor and consider pressing that like button. Also, consider subscribing for more gaming and Dreamlight Valley tips, tricks, guides, news, and updates. As always, thank you so much for your time today, and good luck organizing your valley.